Good morning. This is a vibrant and busy time at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. So before we formally begin our worship service, we invite you to lend your attention to a few brief announcements that will let you know about some ways to get involved in the life of the church. Each Sunday, we light candles in the sanctuary and along the windows to mark sacred moments in our lives. You're invited to light candles during the prelude, the musical meditation, or the postlude, which are designated with an asterisk in your order of service. Pre-4, that's 4 years old, I think, through high school religious education needs you. If you want to learn about RE classes, volunteer opportunities, and ways to get involved, go talk to Soul today. They will be waiting for you in House and Hall right after the service. Want to be a part of the spiritual nourishment of our church? Be an adults religious education facilitator. We have many opportunities for facilitators for this coming church year for programs like Chalice Circles, Wellspring, and the anti-racism program Mosaic, just to name a few. Please contact Reverend Carrie.holly-hurt@austinuu.org for questions or to register your interests. Calling all young artists. Submissions are open for First UU's Children and Youth Art Gallery. Anyone pre-K through 12th grade is invited to participate, and all art will be considered. Art may be listed for sale if the artist so wishes. If you have a young creative in your life who might be interested in displaying their art, please email soul.cornell@austinuu.org for more information, or talk to her at the RE table in House and Hall during the social hour. Each Sunday, one of our caring companions is designated to be available at the front of the sanctuary after the service to listen to any immediate pastoral needs and assist you with connecting to additional pastoral support if you would like. Today's caring companion is Susan Thompson. Where is she? There she is. Now you can identify her. Now let all who are gathered in beloved community, whether in virtual space or in person, join our spirits in worship together.
Good morning. Oh, my. Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing? I'm Reverend Carrie Holly Hurt. I'm the assistant minister here. I'm a white woman in my late 40s. I am wearing a blue robe and a beautiful pride stole, because it is Pride. And I am so happy to be with you today. It's also a joy because it is the 57th anniversary of Stonewall today. And it's the last official Sunday of Pride Month. Now, I know in Central Texas we like to spend all of the hot summer celebrating Pride throughout the months, but technically June's over. We will have our Pride service in August, so just wait for that. But this month and this day is when we mark queer liberation because of the resistance at Stonewall on June 28, 1969, when patrons of the Stonewall Inn resisted state violence and proclaimed their presence. Queer people fighting for themselves and their community, which joined so many other actions, all for the hope of freedom. So this day we remember them, we are grateful for them as they taught us to come alive. So welcome on this joyful day. I especially want to welcome you if you are new to the congregation. If you are joining us remotely and you can, please tell us hello and tell us where you're coming from. And if you are here in person, please join us in Housen Hall after the service. Either way, we invite you to fill out the online visitor form that you can find at austinuu.org. Click on worship and then select the tab that will lead you to the form. We would love to get to know you better. Because here we welcome everybody, every beginning and every path, every beautiful expression of human flowering, all pronouns, all the ways and ones you love, all abilities and disabilities. Each and every one of you, you are welcome here. Now we come from a long tradition of seeing the divine spark in each and every person, and it is in that tradition that I invite you to greet the holy among you with consent.
Hello again. I'm Margaret Borden, a white woman in my late 70s wearing glasses, a white shirt, and white slacks. My pronouns are she, her. Please join me in the words by which we light our chalice. This is the flame we hold in our hearts as we strive for justice for everyone. This is the light we shine upon systems of oppression until they are no more. This is the warmth we share with one another as our struggle becomes our salvation. Our call to worship this morning is One Love by the Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits, here not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together. We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can. We are one. Working, eating, laughing, playing, singing, storytelling, sharing and rejoicing, getting to know each other, taking risks, opening up, questioning, seeking, searching, trying to understand, struggling, making mistakes, paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers, learning to love our neighbors, learning to love ourselves, apologizing and forgiving with humility, being forgiven through grace, creating the beloved community together. We are one. Please rise now in body or spirit and let us sing together hymn 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
One of the things that binds us together as a religious community, because that's what we are, is that this congregation has a common purpose. For First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin, that common purpose is our mission. The congregation wrote it, and then we put it on the wall so that we could say it every week together with the hopes that we can carry it in our hearts throughout the week. Let's say it together now. Together, we nourish souls, transform lives, and do justice to build the beloved community.
Hello, all. My name is Soul. I am a small white human with short blue hair. It's so good to be back with you all. We have come to the time for all ages in our service today. If you'd like a nice up-close look at the pictures, come and join me on stage. Hello, all. Hello and welcome. Howdy, good to see your faces again, most of your faces. There's another face. Hello. All right. Yeah. Our book today is called All of Us, and it was written and illustrated by Karen Berger. When your heart is heavy and your step unsure, when the winds are wild and the path unclear, don't fear the night so dark and vast, or the hazy future, or the stormy past. Know that I am here as steady as stone. We are stronger together than we are alone. Hope and light will always prevail. For love wins. Love wins. Love will never fail. The end. Thank y'all for listening. Let's head on back.
This is a time during the service when we commit to the mission and ministries of this church by making an offering. We give out of our own so that together we might build a better world. If you are visiting with us today, please allow the plate to pass. You are our guests. You can give in several ways. You can give online by texting your contribution using the instructions that will be showing on the screen during the offering. Or, if you are here in person, by placing an offering in the basket the ushers are about to pass. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will now collect our offering. Your offerings have been given in love, and you've been received with gratitude. Our reading is We Who Are Alive by Reverend Dr. Anna Bladel, a queer, non-binary chaplain, writer, and public theologian. They are also the co-founder of Infleshed, a resource for spiritual nourishment for collective liberation. Life is a gorgeous experiment, or at least life is an experiment. Wild and precious and over too soon, Mary Oliver reminds us. Experiments are messy, indeterminate, unpredictable by their very nature, wrought with failure too, and so is life. Aren't we lucky then that some of us, queers I mean, are practiced in transforming failure into an art form? We who are alive, we who are messy and exhausted, we who are overwhelmed, wrung out, terrified, as everything and everyone we love comes under assault, we are part of this gorgeous experiment of life. And here I want to insist on the gorgeousness because we are gorgeous. We are heartbroken and heartbreak healing. We are hardened and hardness cracking open, softening. We are invitations to life lived otherwise. We are magic being kindled. We are dreams unwilling to be contained. We are entire prayers, whispered, sung, wailed, received, answered. We are holy, whole, and wholly deserving of love. We are hallelujah, amen. We are divinity enfleshed. We are possibilities emerging. We are making life livable. Everywhere we are making love, making art, making poetry, making song, making shelter, making home, with and for each other. We are making each other possible. With and for each other, we become possible. With and for each other, life becomes possible.
Now is the time in our service where we center ourselves, where we ground ourselves in holy and sacred community. When we breathe in and out, going to that deepest part, sensing one another's loving presence. As we continue to breathe together, we will enter into a time of music and sacred silence, remembering that we hold sounds of small children and noisy adults as holy. And as we enter into this time, I invite you to hold those of our community who are suffering right now. And also to join those that are experiencing joy. We hold them all in our hearts. Entering this meditative time as our music plays, please maintain that quiet even when the music ends. last candle for all those who have no one to light a candle for them. Before finding Unitarian Universalism, I was socially engaged. I was often at the Capitol, or I was block walking for a candidate, or doing justice in my own community. And that was really great. I felt in alignment with my values. But when I found this religion, that work took on greater significance because I started to view it through a lens of spirituality and theology. And you see, my spirituality and my theology were something that I lost a long time ago when I walked away from the church I grew up in. But finding Unitarian Universalism gave those things back to me in this really beautiful and healthy way, because I could explore my spirituality without the fear that was so instilled in me from that high-controlled Christian sect that I was raised in. Because Unitarian Universalism is a religion that says we don't know what happens after this life, but we can see what's happening right now. We can see the pain and the violence that so many are facing, and we know that justice compels us to act. Compels us, as the Reverend Joanna Fontaine Crawford says to us, to love the hell out of this world. Because we're all connected. And connecting to people and a faith who held that as a foundation allowed me to grow in really beautiful ways. It allowed me to have a deep knowing in my bones that I wasn't alone. In short, finding Unitarian Universalism made me feel alive in ways that I had never felt alive. And that is because the foundation of this faith is life. Let me give you an example. So it's late March 2023. The Texas legislature is in full swing. Mostly awful bills are starting to pop out of committees. And on this particular day, the Equality Coalition, which is the Equality Texas, the Texas Freedom Network, the Trans Education Network of Texas, Texas Impact, and of course my favorite and yours, the Texas UU Justice Ministry. We all came together and they called on the community to respond with an all-hands-on event. You see, the House Public Health Committee was about to hear HB 1686, a bill that would ban gender-affirming, life-saving care for youth. That session was going to get a lot worse. But that day, there was something in the air. My fellow seminarians set up an all-day prayer vigil, and in the middle of the day, there was going to be a rally held by the Equality Coalition. We were stationed in the outdoor rotunda, which, if you don't know this, it's in the Capitol extension. The bottom is two floors under the ground. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And the top is the Capitol lawn. It's really beautiful. People started to come in for the rally, but of course the legislature is never on time. They never keep to their schedule. And so the rally was getting delayed, and my friend Biss was responsible for organizing the space. And she's kind of feeling flustered at this time, as you would. And she comes up to me and says, I need you to go hold silent prayer right now, or I need you to find someone to do it. So of course I'm like, okay, I'll go do that. And I head out into the middle of what turned out to be an extremely hot floor. It's all granite. It's all been baking under the sun. And I sat down, cross-legged, and I think, what the heck did I just agree to? And so I take those breaths like we just did that ground us, that get us to our core, that get us to our center. And I got quiet. And I knew what I wanted to pray for. I wanted to pray that those people in the committee room would have compassion and that they would have wisdom, that their hearts and their ears would be open. Once I was set in that, I opened my eyes, and sitting before me were my friends. They were seminarians, they were ministers, all looking at me with these expectant smiles. I told them what I was going to pray for, and I said, please join me in silent prayer. And then what happened at that moment was transcendent. It's been 3 years, I can't explain it. I just know it's still tender. But I know I felt so held and I felt so deeply loved in that moment. It was beautiful. And then I opened my eyes and I came into a totally different world. 2 guys from InfoWars, which is Alex Jones' violent conspiracy threading, now defunct, happy to say, media outlet. Yes. Well, 2 guys come in with a camera trying to antagonize us, coming into our sacred space, trying to get footage so that they could air it and twist the narrative like they do about trans people, about their allies. Talk about whiplash. As I'm trying to understand what is happening, Reverend Joanne Fontaine Crawford and Reverend Jamie Yandel come up to me, and somehow between the 3 of us, we decide this little light of mine. All of a sudden, we're all standing in this massive line, and we're singing This Little Light of Mine, and then the rows above us are singing, and then Reverend Erin Walter comes from somewhere, who knows where, and she starts leading us in this joy, and wow. It was gorgeous. It was so powerful, and I have no idea when those guys left, but they did. I guess they realized they weren't cute, and they weren't going to get what they wanted. It was an extremely powerful experience, and afterwards, I realized that I had gotten to participate in something I wanted to my whole life. I got to participate in a Care Bear stare. Now, for those of you that know, yes, right? Is that not a Care Bear stare? Yes. Now, for everybody else that wasn't a child in the 80s glued to their television, the Care Bears were a cartoon. All the bears were different colors, and they wore their personality on their belly. Like one was a Funshine Bear. For 40 years, I thought that was Sunshine Bear. Turns out, Funshine Bear. There were hearts. They were tenderhearted. They were all sorts of beautiful things. And when something happened, when the InfoWar guys of their day came into their midst, they would stand together in a big long line, they would shoot from their personalities, and they would vanquish their foe, or they would heal whatever needed healing. We did a Care Bear stare at the Texas State Capitol. And I felt so alive that day. I felt the warmth of that transcendent experience, and I felt the community working together, using love as a tool to fight against hate. I felt so alive. And I think more than anything, that is what we are being invited to. Reverend Stephen Lingwood, a Unitarian minister in England, wrote a book in which he was trying to answer the question, what does our religion have to offer the world? We don't have salvation. Sorry about that. We don't even have a solid idea of what happens next. We do not have capital T truth. All we got is questions, really, and love. His answer is that our theology, our values, create a place where people can experience a real encounter between humans, where people come alive and encounter the divine. That's our church. This church is a place where real encounters can happen. And I've seen so many of them. I've seen such tender moments between people, not trying to mask, not trying to be grossly and inappropriately optimistic, but just being together, often through some really hard times. And yes, sometimes our attempt to have real encounters with one another leads to conflict, but honestly, I think that's kind of good too. Conflict, healthy boundaried conflict. Where everyone is taking accountability means we are engaging with one another in real ways. And when we put in that work, often both parties leave having grown. If you don't believe me, I challenge you to sign up for the Healthy Relations Committee's Healthy Conflict Skill class this fall. And even if you do, believe me, please sign up. Here, we are encouraged to be with one another authentically, be with one another in silent prayer and in the scary things that happen. Our theology is the backbone of this. Our covenant is the backbone of this. When we see the divine spark in everyone, when we recognize that we are all interconnected, when we believe in the power of many paths through pluralism, we can have those real encounters with one another. And certainly that was what I was having that day. A real encounter with my friends, with absolute strangers, joining together in our fear, in our hope, in our frustration, in our faith, and working together to hold our sacred space. A Care Bear stare, after all, is just pluralism at its best. Our theology, our values also invite us to enjoy the wonder and freedom, to enjoy the mystery. Every Sunday, we say that we are dedicated to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning and beauty. When I sat down to do that silent prayer, I sat down with my whole self. Someone who was hot, someone who did not know what she agreed to, someone who was feeling the intense weight of that moment. But I also sat down believing, as the kids here say, what we know about God is one piece of the truth. Because I believe in that free and responsible search and know that in the vastness of all things, I don't know that much. And with that uncertainty and the freedom of having uncertainty, I was able to close my eyes and let my heart speak. And then something happened. I don't know what it was. And quite frankly, I don't care. Was it capital G God? Maybe. Was it source? Was it spirit? Was it love? Possibly. Was it something that was created by all those that had come before me that day to pray, the Unitarian, Universalist, and the Christians of all flavors, and the Natwa traditional dancers who came and left their prayers hanging in the air? Maybe. But I don't know. I don't know, but what I felt was beautiful, and it made me feel loved powerfully. In our tradition, we don't have to know. We don't have to have the answers. Questions are good. The mystery is beautiful, and we are invited to bask in it. We can touch the divine in a million different ways, and we don't have to label it. Finally, our faith is about life. Our faith is about honoring and working to protect life. It's about coming alive. And what could be more antithetical to the culture of death that is so desperately being forced upon us than that? Our long tradition of seeing the divine spark in one another is deeply connected to our long tradition of seeing the pain and the harm being caused and feeling called to do our part to address it. It's all interconnected. Our spirituality is interconnected with our social justice. There is no difference. Like the religious ancestors that have worked for a better world, that fought for people who were being marginalized, that created paths for all of us, so that we could answer the call of solidarity. Our social justice work comes from our faith and theology, because our faith and theology is the pursuit of life, of coming alive by leaning into one another and our interconnectedness, by resting in the mystery. And no, we're not perfect at it. But we try. And the foundation's there. And that's needed right now. Our trying. Because we live in a culture of death and destruction. You can see it in the way that environmental protections are being rolled back, even as climate crisis is harming more and more people. We see it in the litany of legislation and executive orders and rulings that target anyone that isn't confined to a particular set of characteristics, especially the cruel dehumanization of trans people and immigrants. We see it in the way that over and over again, guns are prioritized over the sacredness of human life. We see it when we learn that children in Gaza are purposefully being targeted by IDF soldiers. We see it when the UN finally comes out and calls it genocide, and there's so much silence. There's a genocide and there's silence. We live in a culture of death. And because of that, we need to harness our life-giving theology, and we need to breathe life into each other and into ourselves and into our community and into the lives of all of those being targeted. Ours is a religion of rainbow pluralism, of authentic connection. Ours is a religion where we can come alive. Thank you.
Now please rise, embody your spirit, and let us sing together hymn number 118 in the gray hymnal, This Little Light of Mine. Now please join me in the words by which we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of a community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
As we leave this sacred time of being together, go and have some coffee. Be blessed. Be a blessing. Breathe life where you can. And please know you are always loved. Go in peace.